Hello, my name is Jordan Anderson, and this is my week 9 reflection. This week we got to read about the RightNow technology case study and also a business finance case study on carbon 6 rings. This week I thought it was really interesting how RightNow was faced with options. He developed a software company to becoming something very successful, and he was well thought out and planned. He set out to reach goals and to make other people money. At that point, he had more than enough money that he could live comfortably, which how I can apply it into my life is he really didn't have really anything else to lose. And so when it came down to the three options, it took a little bit more technical uh, writing down, I guess, uh, the better way to put it. It's obviously he made his money, so he had nothing to lose, but he was often thinking about what he could do to help those that were involved. He was always seeking opportunities to employ and to help the community grow. I think that's a very important thing that you should take away is any business that you start is not uh, the main purpose is not about the money. Yes, it's good to have a viable business that brings in profit and allows everyone that's involved to live comfortably. It's to help the community grow. Um, Clearly, there's no business that's a get rich quick scheme like a lot of the people in this world really strive to reach out for and get. As far as that case goes, the two other options really didn't seem like he was going to reach his goals to employ the 2,000 people. So my suggestion was to just grow the company within a larger company. There's sometimes good times to continue to grow organically and to improve, but ultimately, when he had nothing else to lose, that it's always better to seek out other people that have great experience and knowledge that's willing to help you. Um, a little later on, the next case was carbon 6. What it pointed out to me is when I was analyzing this is John, the beginning founder, was trying to be more than fair, and he didn't want to do anything alone. He wanted to invest in people that would help him grow it into something and eventually let the momentum take off. Unfortunately, he failed to really screen his future partners. Anybody that should be involved in the company should have a main purpose and not just because he didn't want to do it alone. Um, It also read that there's quite a few individuals that didn't have a certain set of skills and talents, and yet they still felt like they're entitled to something. That also kind of brought up another point in today's reality and world that money does put a strain on people's friendship, and it's not worth it. So you keep business with business and your personal level separate, and you should always have documentation. That way, there is no like gray matter or anything like that. Um, when you do become more successful than everyone else, when you do kind of prove them wrong, you're always going to have somebody try to tear you down. You're always going to have somebody to break you apart. So you always need to be prepared to defend yourself. And I think in today's world, it's still headed that way. But once again, the point in the lesson was also not to be alone, that we need to center Christ in our lives, and He will be that one to help us and to give us that extra boost. He'll pick up the slack for us and no never fail to have help. So it's when you do anything, you should always think of all the different possibilities, and you should always be prepared by laying it out and actually having it documented. That way, there's no arguments or dispute. Um, Simply, if other individuals don't meet up to their expectations, given situations, you might give them another chance. Otherwise, You really shouldn't let people kinda push you around and try to take more and more and more, because it's only gonna make anything worse. You can't just buy them off and hope that, everything would be settled pretty much. So, um, it was really analyzing of how else to start a business. I mean, you got multiple options. You got venture capitalists for large projects. You got the bank, which I don't always think is the best decision because they often tell you no, or they want a lot more like operational funding that's already in play. Um, Angel investors is another good opportunity, as well as you can launch campaigns off of Kickstarter. Was one of the websites that I thought was quite fascinating. Um, so depending on the situation of what you got, you really need to pay attention to the details. Is what my major takeaway from this week was. Is the details are the most important. You can never often overthink, oh, well, I'll just fly by the seat of my pants and I'll just do this all verbally. And then everybody starts to develop their own thoughts and minds on how they want more or how they want to tear the company down. Anyways, thank you for a wonderful, great learning experience this week, and we'll catch you next week.